The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the October 6th, the fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right. If you're listening at the normal time, which would be 11:07. We're going to make today's show as pertinent as we can for you. If you are listening live, we would love to hear from you. You can give us a call at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't call in, but you have a question, and it's between 8 and 9, you can send me an email. Send that out to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Now, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on a fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we've got all U.S. equity futures trading to the upside. The Dow futures are up about 56. The Nasdaq's up 30 points. The ES Mini is up 6. The Russell, E-Mini Russell's up about 6 points as well. If we take a look at what transpired in Asia last night, that's where we're going to begin. First, you got the Shanghai market. That's closed until the 8th, so that'll reopen on Monday or Sunday night. The Hang Seng up 272, 1.5%. The Nikkei off 80 points. In Australia, the S&P 200 was up about 29, about 0.5%. FTSE up about 0.5% right now. That's 31 points. And the DAX up 121.63. Now, the DAX is going to be something to pay attention to. Why? Well, in fact, it was Obi-Wan that really brought this to my knowledge, brought that knowledge to me. I believe that's where I picked this up from. But if we do take a look at this, we're taking a look right now at a correlation chart. This is correlating. This is a directional correlation chart. So this is showing us a directional movement, how it correlates between the DAX in Germany. So this is very helpful when you start your morning out. You don't need to trade the DAX, but you want to understand what's going on because it can assist you with regard to what is likely to anticipate inside the U.S. markets, or at least with regard to the NASDAQ. So I've got the NQ in the center portion of the screen. The bottom portion is taking a look at the correlation between the two. I've got this setting at a 3-bar setting. So this tells us the average over 3 bars. When the bars are above 0, which about 90% of these or 95% of these bars are above 0, tells us there's a directional correlation. That means if the DAX is trading or closing higher, then so too should the NQ. And the opposite. So right now we've got the DAX that's trading higher out there. We're going to go take a look at what is the DAX actually doing. So we're going to move over from this chart. So I'm really basically sharing with you how it is that I start my morning out here and try to understand what the markets are communicating to us. That's really what we're doing as we come back to a fresh set of screens, see what the markets are communicating to us now. So in the case of the Shanghai, which has been closed for a week, it does have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, price above that oscillator and change line. When it does reopen, it should rally, and what it should do is go target that high, that little spike high from August 28th, up at about the 33.75 level. The Hang Seng, right now, confirmed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom pattern with today's gap up. Price above its oscillator and change line. This suggests that it wants to rally. The Nikkei, even though it closed slightly lower, it has a TD9 count bottom. What it wants to do is go target that oscillator and change line at 31,672. So what we know, you and I know, about the markets in Asia right now is they want to continue to trade higher. If we take a look at the FTSE, well, it turns out it formed a TD9 count bottom pattern. It will complete that pattern today, confirmed that pattern yesterday, and that pattern formed right at TD9 count breakout support. Now, this was a TD9 count top that formed out here. What price should do is move up towards its oscillator and change line. That currently is printed at 75.43. A close above that, we're looking at 76.84. If we look at the DAX has completed a TD9 count bottom. Now, what it's doing right now, and this is really the key, and this is the area for you to be watching during the day here, or at least during the morning. What the DAX has done, it's made its way up after a TD9 count bottom to its oscillator and change line. That's really its first objective out there, which that has been attained. That oscillator and change line at 15.213, the high today 15.213. You gotta love it. Now, if price can close above 15.213, I would say that the U.S. NDX 100 Nasdaq Composite will also complete finish the session higher. Not saying the high of the day, but it will finish the session higher. What happens if price starts to pull back here? Well, that's going to put some influence inside the NQ out there, and it will likely continue to pull back. Now, the NQ, that's got a TD9 count bottom. The S-Mini has a buy the D point bottom. The NQ right now, just like the DAX, take a look at this. Take a look at similarities out there. We know that the DAX is dealing with its oscillator and change line. What is the NQ doing? The NQ is dealing with its oscillator and change line. And that level right there is at 14,879. So we can correlate those two. You want to keep an eye on both of those to give you a kind of a feel as to what the market is doing. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, we already know that it's got a Rhodes momentum indicator top, and price right now is dealing with support, which is the top of that daily profile. And if price can close underneath that level, it closed underneath it just slightly yesterday, and it being 106.10. So a close below 106.10 is going to suggest a move to 105.44, 104.78, 104.20. Regardless, if the U.S. dollar index is moving lower, it increases the odds that the U.S. equity futures and metals will continue to rally out there. So that's the first peek as to what, that's the first peek as to what's going on overseas. And should be very helpful to each of you. If you weren't familiar with that correlation between the DAX and the NASDAQ, you are now, and you should use that to your advantage. If we take a look at what's going on in the currency pairs out here, because we know that's going to impact our trading decisions today. If we take a look at the bottom portion of the screen out here, if we take a look at the euro, U.S. dollar, this has completed a TD9 count top. It's going to complete that here at 8:30. This is going to be the bar following bar number 9. So you want to watch that high. Now, I can tell you what the current high is, but it's only 8.13. But right now, the current high for the euro is 1.0567. I don't know if that's going to be the high. Whatever that high is, this is the cool thing about this. Now, the euro right now is moving higher. So what it is doing, it is strengthening versus the U.S. dollar index. But on a 30-minute base, you've got a short-term top. And it's about 57% of the weighting inside the U.S. dollar index. So you really want to watch what the euro is doing on a 30-minute basis. Why? Well, first of all, that TD9 count top should take price back to its oscillator and change line at about $1.05. If it does that, as we start to come into the open, we ought to see the U.S. equity futures begin to pull back. However, this TD9 count top, if you see price close above it on a 30-minute basis, that would mean at 9 a.m. So whatever that high is at 8:30, if price closes above at 9 a.m., that tells you about a strong momentum move to the upside for the euro. That says that it wants to continue to move higher, and then that U.S. dollar index will continue to move lower. So very important to watch the euro here as we get into the 8:30 session. In the case of the yen here has an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. That says that it wants to weaken against the U.S. dollar. So you've got offsetting, but that's only 13% of the U.S. dollar index. And the Great British Pound, that's in an A to B equals CD to the upside. So that's going to put some weakness inside the U.S. dollar index as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. It's 8:14 in the morning. It's great to be with you. We'll be back in just a few.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, your key to successful active trading. Tom O'Brien, renowned for his expertise in the financial markets, has designed Market Insights to be your daily guide to profitable trades. Tom publishes his daily Market Insights newsletter every market day before the market open, along with updates when warranted. Stay ahead of the game with Tom's real-time analysis and trade recommendations delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, Market Insights provides the edge you need to navigate the markets with confidence. Ready to join the ranks of successful traders? Head over to TFNN.com and subscribe to Market Insights today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your trading results. Market Insights comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for all new subscribers, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your trading game. Head over to TFNN.com right now to join the thousands of traders who have already experienced the power of Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, firsthand. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. 8:18 in the morning. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're listening to normal time, thank you for doing that as well. We'll make today's show as pertinent as we possibly can for you. Right now, you've got U.S. equity futures trading to the upside. I expect that that will hold, but the confirmation will come from watching the DAX this morning out there. And if the DAX closes above its oscillator and change line, then the U.S. equity futures market should continue to rally as well. You've got gold trading up $3 right now. Silver 22 pennies. Platinum's up a couple of bucks. You've got copper up 4 pennies. Palladium up $12 as we speak. Got the U.S. dollar index pulling back. Just looks like your chart feed went down. No, it's up. Okay, so how about so nobody you got it now? Okay, great. Okay, so we got the charts up there. Sorry about that, folks. Let's do this here. Let's take a quick peek. Let's just do an overall market update as we speak right now. We didn't do this because I didn't do the 11 o'clock update. But let me just give you an overview out there. For those of you that listen, I usually do an update at 11 a.m. And what we do is we cover this little 9-panel market update set of charts out there. So if you take a look at the ES Mini in the upper left, you can see that it's got that bottom. That's a buy the D point bottom. And price right now is dealing with resistance. And that resistance is the bottom of its profile. And that's at 4,300. If we get price start trading above it, close above 4,300, then its price target should be about the 4,370 level. Spot volatility is still above its 50-day exponential moving average. That says be cautious from the bullish side of the market. The NQ, it's got a TD9 count bottom. We already took a look at how price is dealing with its oscillator and change line, just as the DAX is doing the same. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, we know it's got a Rhodes momentum indicator top, and price is dealing with the top of that profile. Again, that's at 106.10. If price closes below that, we're looking at 105.44. If we take a look at Goldilocks, it has a TD9 count bottom, and it has a new profile that is attempting to form. That new profile has right now resistance at 1854.90, or I should say the top of the box is 1854.90, and the bottom is 1835.80. We're trading right now at 1833.80. So the bottom of that profile is actually a bit of resistance right now, 1835.80. If you're long gold, you'd like to see price at least close above that. Now, I don't have a guarantee that this profile will complete today. Won't know that until Sunday evening. But right now, as of 8:20 in the morning, we know where buyers and sellers are lining up. In the case of silver, it's also forming a new profile. It's got a wave 7 and a TD9 count bottom pattern. That TD9 count bottom pattern will complete today, but it did form yesterday. Support is between 21.14 and 21.44. It's 21.44 that you're really watching like a hawk. Why? Because if price closes above that, it almost guarantees us as much as a tool can, that price will make its way up to 22.03. That's because of bullish structured profile and odds favor. You close above the center, buyers have enough energy to push it up to the top. If you take a look at light sweet crude, we know it's below profile levels. It's very likely going to go target its TD9 count breakout support area. You don't see that on this chart out here, but I've written it in, and that's at 78.94. Just like natural gas, it closed above the top of its profile. It did that yesterday. You're trading above it right now. You've already taken out yesterday's high out here. What natural gas wants to do for its November contract, and I looked at the UNG this morning, and that is 100% of its holdings as we speak right now. So 343 is its price target. And with regard to the 30-year Treasury, it's below profile levels. It needs a bullish reversal candle to form some type of buy the D-point pattern. Short of that, price is likely to head lower. Now, let's move from these charts and do our segue into natural gas. Let's go take a look at the natural gas charts. This is for Brian inside the Tiger's Den. Now, this is not natural gas that shows up there right now. That's one of a request from Jimmy D. But let's first go to those natural gas charts out here. So we'll pull those up momentarily. We'll take a look at what's going on daily, weekly, monthly. So if we take a look at the monthly standpoint out here, we've got to buy the D-point pattern. That formed all the way back here in June of 2023. Price right now is inside its profile, likely wants to go target 339. Right now, what price is doing on a weekly basis is dealing with a resistance point. And that's at 3.20. We're trading right now at about, the actual number is 3.213 that you're watching. We're trading at 3.209. Price can close above that 3.213. That gives us more indication that price wants to get to 341. Turns out that at that 343 level that we looked at on the daily time frame, that is the TD9 count breakdown level. So we've got the weekly and the daily saying price wants to go target that 343 level. Of course, it's got to still deal with the center of this profile at the 3.21 level out there. If I take a look at a 30-minute time frame chart, you'll see a TD9 count pattern. What did price do? Pulled right back to its breakout level, 3.17. Tested and rejected that level. Brian, that is a bullish sign out here. You've got a top pulled back to support, and that's the only top that I see from an intraday standpoint with regard to natural gas. So it does not look like a short to me when I take a look at these charts. But of course, anything can happen in the next minute. I can't control the next minute, but what I can do is I can interpret for you exactly where the battles are at. When you've cleared one battle, where you're going to next out here. And for natural gas, it looks like 343 becomes its target. So I hope that review helps you out and helps with your decision on natural gas. Let's go to our first request out here. This is coming in from, actually, the first request is coming in from Hector and Patty, and they want to take a look at Newmont Mining. NEM is a ticker symbol. Now, let's see, did Newmont Mining form a buy the D-point pattern out here? I think the answer here is going to be no matter how we look at it. And the reason is, give me a moment here. We'll go ahead and draw this pattern in here for Hector and Patty. It doesn't mean that it hasn't bottomed. It just means that Stevie doesn't have a bottoming pattern. So here's our A to B point. This forms a TD9 count bottom. It does that and a wave 7 bottom back on August 22nd. That led to 2 different TD9 count tops out there, but also set up the A to B equals CD to the downside. And that 1-to-1 projection for Newmont Mining, that would really get us back towards the 33.44-ish area out there. So right now, with regard to Newmont, what I can say is that from a daily perspective, you've got price moving higher. If the U.S. dollar index is moving lower, gold and the miners should move higher. So at least what this should do, Newmont Mining, that is, it should go target 36.92. Now, Hector and Patty, if price can close above that oscillator change line, regardless of whether Stevie has a bottom or not, which I don't out here, bottom pattern that is, that would still then suggest that price should go target the bottom of its current profile, which on Newmont Mining for a daily time frame is up in the 39.66 level. So you want to watch that oscillator and change line, 36.92. It'll change slightly as the market opens up there. If we look at the weekly time frame chart, you are going to generate, well, you're likely going to generate a wave 7 bottom. Well, you get a wave 7 signal that's out there. The only way that gets confirmed is a higher low come next week. But right now you've got a hammer candle. You'd love actually for Newmont Mining to close right here, because then the weekly base would give your Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. That's a very powerful pattern out there. Nonetheless, pay attention to the daily, see what it's going to do. With a monthly time frame chart here for Newmont Mining to suggest that it wants to get back to that 32.86 type level out there. So that's what I see, Hector and Patty, when I take a look at Newmont Mining out there. I hope that helps you out. And as always, thanks so much for taking the time to write in. The next request coming in from Jimmy D inside the Tiger's Den. He said he had his coffee this morning, and he gave us 6 or 7 different instruments to take a look at. We take a look at ENVX. That's the first one. And ENVX is something that Jimmy would like to take a long position on. So if we look at the monthly chart, let's go right to left. Monthly chart, price is trading into a support zone. And price has gotten back pretty much to the bottom of that support zone, which would be at 930. So far, we've been down to 944. So this is a support zone area. However, the weekly chart, which has a TD9 count top, is turned into an A to B equals CD to the downside. And that A to B equals CD to the downside was confirmed with volume. And this is suggesting that ENVX is likely going to go target 757 level at a minimum. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. When we get back to this break, we'll look at the daily chart from ENVX. Be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, Butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at the charts here for ENVX. And what we see here is we have both a daily and a weekly confirmed A to B equals CD to the downside out there. And if we take a look at this daily chart, we're also going to see that a wave 7 pattern had formed out here. It did on September 26th. That has been taken out. Price gap down a few days ago. So I don't see ENVX as a buy out here, at least from a daily or a weekly time frame. Might be different on some type of intraday chart, but that's what I see when I take a look at those charts there for ENVX. So, Jimmy, I hope that helps you out. Your second request was to take a look at Overstock. OSTK is the ticker symbol out here. And, we have the jobs number out, right? So we got U.S. equity futures here moving across the board. Let's just take a look at OSTK, and then we'll go take a look at what's going on inside the futures market out here. So we take a look at OSTK. With regard to any kind of bottom signal, it does have a wave 7 bottom. So that's letter G. And price right now in Overstock is dealing with resistance. Now the resistance level, the real key level out here, Jimmy, is going to be 1630. 1630 is the center of its bullish structured daily profile. That price has been below for more than 2 consecutive sessions. That is where a counter trend move would end. So if price can close above 1630, then you're looking at the next battle at 1699, and a close above 1699 would take you to the 21 level. So I do like the potential bottom pattern out here in Overstock versus ENVX. And on a weekly basis, you're going to form bar number 8 of a TD9 count. Now that means for a TD9 count bottom to form, next week you need to see a close below 1987 out there. So I like this one better than the other two out there. So I do hope that helps you out as well. Now, let me go take a look at the equity future. We're going to put up the 30-minute charts out here for the ES, the NQ, the YM, and the Russell. So if you give me a moment, we'll get those charts here populating. You should see those come up on the screen here momentarily. So the looks like average hourly earnings are up 0.2%. Non-farm payrolls only up 170, which maybe is a good sign for the for the equity markets out there. But we're going to go take a look at, again, what the futures are doing here. They're just pulling up because of all the activity out there. Now, to the downside, what's the level you'd be watching today? Well, for the ES Mini, it'd be 42.35.50. If you close below that, we're headed lower. And inside the NQ, it's 14.586. Those are the only two daily equity future contracts with bottom patterns. The Dow does not have one, nor does the Russell 2000. So that's quite a move lower, bar lower out here on the 30-minute basis. I think we're going to need more than the 30-minute charts to kind of analyze this. So I'm going to go ahead and close these out, and we'll go take a look at those ES mini charts out there. So if you give me a moment, we'll get to those, and we'll see what's going on for multiple time frames. Okay, so we've got those pulled up here as we speak. No, I've got the, what do I have up here? This is great. So I've got both the daily and the weekly charts out here for each of the equity future contracts. So even better. So let's say that price closes below 42.35, takes out the bottom of this piercing candle out here that formed back on the trading day of October 4th. That's what confirmed a buy the D point pattern. If price closes below 42.35, then where is price likely headed to? And that's what we want to try to understand out there. Where was Stevie going with this? It's the A to B equals CD pattern that we've got on the weekly base. That's where Stevie was going with this. So you can see the weekly A to B equals CD pattern, which needs a bullish reversal candle to confirm. So what we would say is that if price did close below 42.35.50, I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm saying if it did close below it, then the price projection area would be the 41.94.75 area. That is the weekly TD9 count breakout level. Inside the NQ, a close below 14.586. Well, what that would really do is that would then trigger an A to B equals CD to the downside for the NQ. What would that look like to the downside? We'll draw in the A to B point out there. We're just simply going to go ahead and carry this over as soon as I can grab it. There we go. Nope, that didn't grab it. There we go. And there's your A to B equals CD out there, which isn't too much further below. But I would say if we get that A to B equals CD pattern inside the NQ, which really requires a close below 14.792.75, but 14.586 is going to be the number. And it's got to be the number because that's the TD9 count bottom pattern that is out there. So if price does close below that level, then 13.678 would be the price target out there. Again, on a daily basis, that oscillator and change line that we want to be paying attention to. Just curious, I'm just going to move over to just a different chart. I'm kind of curious what the DAX is doing. So the DAX is giving up some of its gains. It's at 20. It's up 23 points right now. Again, just simply the correlation between the DAX and the Nasdaq, the NQ. It's uncanny, but you can use that most certainly to your advantage. Now, in the case of the Dow Equity Future contract, it does have a new profile that is attempting to form. If I didn't share that with you before, I'm sharing that with you now. That new profile bottom is at 33,148. So a close below that would be bearish and suggest lower price. The center's at 33,658. The top 34,167. The Russell 2000, that needs a bullish reversal candle to generate a buy the D point pattern. It too is forming a new profile and support at 1731, resistance at 1762. We're trading right now at about 1731 as we speak. So on a weekly basis, the Russell 2000 is going to confirm a TD9 count bottom pattern today. That says that by next week, the DAX should form a weekly should complete a weekly TD9 count bottom. No other bottom patterns on the weekly charts for the ES, the NQ, or the Dow out there. So that's the first place. But take a look at the daily and the weekly. So I'm glad that we did that. My intention was really to get back and I'm going to close these charts out, was to get back and take a look at more of the intraday charts to see what price is doing if there's pulling back to any support level. So this was really the set of charts that I was looking for. So now we've got it. Now, as we take a look at the 5-hour time frame chart, close on a 5-hour basis, that would be at 9 a.m., I believe, is the close on this bar. 9 a.m., 42.66. Doesn't spell curtains, but it does say that the low of its Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom from back at 4 in the morning, this a couple days ago, that level at 42.53 would likely be tested. Now, the 4-hour chart is saying right now price is pulling back and testing support, and that's at 42.45. The 2-hour chart pulled right back to its breakout level at 42.49. So far, that is held. So we've got two of the larger intraday time frame charts that are sitting at support. But that says watch that 42.45 level like a hawk. The 60-minute time frame chart, price is below support. This bar doesn't close for another 23 minutes out there. We want to watch 42.62. The 30-minute chart looks horrible, as does the 15 and the 10-minute chart out there. But we want to watch those longer-term charts. We want to watch the 60, the 120, and the 240, and even the 5-hour time frame chart as we speak. But right now, prices pulled back to levels of support on an intraday basis for the ES Mini. Let's go check out the NQ and see what it is doing out here. On the NQ, looking at the U.S. dollar index, which is basically flat as we speak right now, but I've got a 10-minute delay. I don't have a delay when I take a look at the euro chart, so we may just pull those up. But right now, if we take a look at the NQ out here, we're just looking to see if price is pulling back to any levels of support. What's interesting about the NQ is if you take a look at the 5-hour time frame chart, what price has been doing has been trading in a sideways consolidation. Just trying, I don't know why I'm struggling here. Oh, it's still updating the charts. That's why. It's not me that's struggling. It's the system that's chugging out here. So let me just, as soon as this is done updating, I'm trying to pull this over. There we go. Pull this over to the left. So what you can see out here is you can see a sideways consolidation. This is on the 5-hour time frame chart out here. And I'm just going to try to expand this line just a tad so we can see what the, that wasn't it. Stevie is struggling this morning to, there we go. Now I think we got it. Now let's pull it over. There we go. Okay. So now we can see is on the 5-hour time frame chart, price is pulling back into its profile levels. This is where a counter trend rally would find support. Where it would find support is 14,721. We're trading at 14,705 right now. The key is that low. This is a consolidation measured move. We break that, then you've got a measured move to the downside. If you break it to the upside, you got a measured move to the upside at the 15,531 level. Be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. 8:42 in the morning. U.S. equity futures right now trading to the downside. S&P's up 35, NASDAQ 156, Dow's off 197, Russell's down 13, gold's off $6, silver's up a penny. You've got copper that's still up 3 pennies. U.S. dollar index is trading to the upside right now. Again, I've got a 10-minute delay there, but I see the euro's trading to the downside. That is not delayed, so that makes sense out there. Hey, we got this cool email here. One of our listeners who usually calls in with requests, that's Nicholas, sends an email. He's on a train right now from Venice to Bologna. You gotta love that, or at least he was as of about 40 minutes ago, about 30 minutes ago. So hopefully still is listening. How about that? We're broadcasting live in a train between Venice and Bologna. I have taken that train trip out there. This is cool. He's been in Lisbon, he's been in Milan, he's been in Venice. And we'll be back home on Tuesday. So safe travels to you. I'm a little bit jealous about what you're doing over there. You should go a little bit further into Florence and catch up with one of our dinners, and that would be Mike, M-U-K, inside the Tigers, M-U-K, inside the Tigers Den. Anyway, let's. But thanks for writing in, Nicholas. Much appreciated, and safe travels to you. Let's get back to some of the requests out here for Jimmy D. It's the only ones that I see that I've got in the system. If I've overlooked something in the den, please type it back in, and I'll certainly get to it. But if we take a look at ticker symbol CAL. That's what we should have up on our screen out here right now. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we do. That is Caleres. What is this thing doing? It's got a wave 7 top that's led to really a sideways consolidation. It's down towards the bottom of the consolidation, was moving into a swing point here that had volume of 316,000 shares. Yesterday it was with 394,000 shares and closing below that profile. Wait to watch. This could be forming an A to B equals CD to the downside. If it closes below the level of 2620 today, you'll get an A to B equals CD to the downside. That A to B equals CD to the downside, I haven't drawn it in, but it would suggest to me that price would pull back towards the 2554, 2504 level. That would be the better place for a buy, at least at this stage of the game, with the consolidation inside the monthly chart and price below the weekly oscillator and change line. So I hope that helps you out from the long side, Jimmy. You had 3 other requests to take a look at. The next one is HZO out here. So we take a look at HZO. This right now, a big wide-ranging bar to the downside yesterday. Volume-wise, was moving into a swing point from back on September 8th. That swing point generated volume of 257,000 shares. Yesterday, 396,000 shares to the downside. So at a minimum, that low should be tested. That low being at 31 bucks even Steven. This is on HZO. I want to take a look at the daily time frame, see if there's any other patterns that are out here. So there is an A to B equals CD to the downside. That swing point that would form that pattern did 173,000 shares. So this is generating an already confirmed A to B equals CD to the downside. Now the price projection on that, we'll draw on just the A to B level. We'll just simply move that over into the C point out here. Going to try to. Yeah, I mean, that's going to take you quite a bit lower out here. That price projection area is somewhere around the 24-ish range out there. So what you're watching for today, if you are short HZO, is a close below. You want to see a close below, 31 bucks even Steven. That's coming from the daily time frame chart. Weekly time frame chart, TD9 count, top price sitting at support. So you'll get a change in trend signal today if you see a close below 31.24. So 31.24 is a key level as well to watch out there. I'm not really sure there's much more that I can provide for you there, Jimmy, so I hope that provides you with assistance and your decision making. With regard to HELE, gapped down a couple of days ago with some pretty big volume out there. In fact, the volume there was about 1.6 million shares. So what did that do? Well, I'm going to first just focus on the weekly and the monthly. The weekly is going to confirm a TD9 count bottom pattern today. It'll complete that pattern next week. So we could see lower lows still out there with price below profile levels, with that gap to the downside and below daily profile, weekly profile. That's a real possibility out here. So let's take a look at the daily time frame for Helen of Troy. So Helen of Troy's got an A to B equals CD to the downside. Let's go take a look at that. It was a TD9 count and Rhodes momentum indicator top. We draw in our A to B level. You know, we could use this one. That's probably a deeper retracement. So this was be A to B. And I'm just simply going to move this over to the C point out there. So we can see that this has attained at least the 1-to-1 area. So what's needed here, Jimmy, in order for this to generate, I know you look at this from the short side, but you've completed the 1-to-1. And if we were to see a bullish reversal candle, that's not likely to happen today, but it could happen today, then this is going to give you a buy signal with at least a bounce up to the 112.38-ish area. So is this a short out here on the daily time frame? You know, we got a weekly TD9 count. I would just suggest caution. When we take a look at Helen of Troy. Let's go have a cup of Java, and let's do it at Starbucks. Not that Stevie is a coffee drinker, because he's not. And speaking of the A to B equals CD patterns, you've got a confirmed A to B equals CD by the D point pattern out here. That took place 2 days ago when that bull sash candle formed. Now what price is doing is trading with inside its profile. So where their support is at 90.85. Resistance is in a zone because it's a bearish structured profile. And that zone is between 92.77 and 94.06. You close above 94.06, Starbucks are going to head to 96.62. You've got a weekly TD9 count bottom pattern that's going to form this week and complete next week. So that adds to the daily bottom signal out there. And on a monthly chart, not so much, not a ton of help. We're just trading between profile levels here. But I'll say the daily and the weekly are going to be the ones that are in control here. And that's take a look at the Starbucks. So you've got a confirmed daily by the D point pattern and a weekly TD9 count bottom that is going to complete today. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for all those requests and keeping me going. S&P wants to get in on the game, and S&P wants to take a look at CrowdStrike, CRWD. So let's go take a look at that. What the S&P is looking for an entry price. So when we take a look at CrowdStrike, right now what we see is nothing more than price consolidating with inside its daily profile after forming a TD9 count and Rhodes momentum indicator top. And right now, price closed inside the sell zone. The sell zone where the sellers are located is between 166.92 at the top and just below that at 160 and 165.02. That's the sell zone that is out here. You're looking for an entry. We already saw that price pull back and tested and rejected the bottom of that daily profile. That still is the entry point around 159.30. 159.32 is the current weekly oscillator and change line. You've got a new profile that formed here. As long as price is not closed above 172.64, you still have that potential for that move to the downside. So I see I see a consolidation-oriented type pattern, but price trading with inside that bearish structure daily profile. And the buy point would be down around 159.30 out there when we take a look at CrowdStrike out there. So S&P, I hope that helped you out with regard to that request, and thank you so much for taking the time to do that. McGuppy writes in, can we look at the biotechs, the XBI? So let's go ahead and get that ETF up on our screen out here. We've only got about 15 seconds before we go to a break out there. So McGuppy, we're likely going to go take a look at XBI when we come back from this break. You said it had a huge move yesterday after a month-long sell-off, buy signal or just a relief rally. Turns out yesterday was a buy signal. It was confirming a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. When we get back from this break, I'm going to tell you where the battleground is at, and that's likely what it's got to deal with to confirm that this thing is more than just a counter trend move to the downside. But the good news is we've got that data, and you're completing a weekly TD9 count bottom as well. So if you're asking, is there a bottom in XBI, the biotechs? The answer is there most certainly is. We'll be right back.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, your key to successful active trading. Tom O'Brien, renowned for his expertise in the financial markets, has designed Market Insights to be your daily guide to profitable trades. Tom publishes his daily Market Insights newsletter every market day before the market open, along with updates when warranted. Stay ahead of the game with Tom's real-time analysis and trade recommendations delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, Market Insights provides the edge you need to navigate the markets with confidence. Ready to join the ranks of successful traders? Head over to TFNN.com and subscribe to Market Insights today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your trading results. Market Insights comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for all new subscribers, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your trading game. Head over to TFNN.com right now to join the thousands of traders who have already experienced the power of Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, firsthand. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. The last trade that fired off in the XBI in the pre-market was at 71.34. You got below that 71.27, 71.30. So we know where it's trading inside the pre-markets. By the way, U.S. equity futures trading to the downside. We'll go back and take a look at those short-term NQ charts in just a moment. But yes, you do have a buy pattern inside of the XBI. Now you've got this little bullish structure daily profile. That price was below for more than 2 consecutive sessions. So my experience is this: counter trend rallies would stop between the bottom, but more likely the center of that profile. That's kind of like the bull trap out there. And that's at 72.94. Now, we know we're still trading below the bottom of its daily profile. So the overall signal here, we're trading right now, the last trade fired up below that oscillator and change line. So even though it's got a buy pattern, it's really a neutral type signal out there. But it's likely to hold, not a guarantee. You've got the beautiful pattern on the weekly time frame here, a TD9 count bottom. And on a monthly basis, price was back at support at 67.52. So 72.94 is going to be the real key number here, McGuffey, for you to watch. If price gets above that, you should be off to the races, which will take it to 74.96 and 77. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request. Now let's get back and take a look at the 30-minute chart here for the euro. We're going to really take a look at what's going on inside the U.S. dollar index, but primarily with regard to the euro. And with regard to the euro, we were open up the show. We were looking at the 30-minute TD9 count top. That told us about a move lower. Well, it's certainly done that out there. But price now, if we take a look at all the other charts, is pulled back to support. Support on the daily basis, the oscillator and change line. That level is at 1.05. Support on the 5-hour time frame chart, the bottom of its bullish structured profile. Support on the 4-hour chart, the bottom of its profile. Support on the 120-minute chart, the bottom of its profile. And on the 60-minute basis, price pulled all the way back to its breakout level, 1.04. Looks to me like the euro has pulled back and the dollar should weaken from here. And what should we see? I'll go on a limb here. Looks to me like the markets want to move higher. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. Thanks for joining me early, 8:56 in the morning. Have a fantastic Friday, fantastic weekend. Be safe out there, and I'll see you on Monday at the normal programming time, 11 a.m. sharp. Take care.